All right, man, we're live. Hey, how are you, Coach Piszker? Did I say that right, or did I totally kibosh it?
No, you got it right. I know it's hard, but no, you got it right.
All right, guys. Hey, so TFWA or TFWR, I always mess that up. How are you this morning? I'm live here with Lourdes University coach, wrestling coach up in Sylvania, Ohio, Louis Piszker. I said Lourdes, but it's pronounced Lourdes, like the Lords. Okay.
Yes, sir.
He's been there 4 years. It's NAIA. He's got, Division One wrestlers now in his program that are wrestling. He himself wrestled at Ohio Northern University and was part of 3 team championships over there in the athletic conference?
Yeah, OAC.
Awesome. Yeah. So wrestled himself. Now he's coaching like a lot of these guys we get on, and he's blessing us with his presence. How are you? How has this process been affecting you and your athletes? And I hear the boys screaming in the background. How are they doing? How's the wife and family?
Yeah, no, I know. Again, I appreciate you having me on. This is a great opportunity. No, everything's going really well. My 2 boys here, I got one that's 4 and I got my youngest just turned 1. They're doing great. We've been hunkered down here at home. My wife works full time as well, so it's been me and the boys hanging out. So we're just trying to stay busy and kind of just find stuff to do here. But no, everything's going great. Recruiting wise, this has been a unique challenge for us, not being able to see a lot of these guys face to face, but it hasn't really slowed us down. We just signed our 14th guy actually 2 days ago, which is huge for us. We're really trying to build the program. Yeah, we're only going into our 5th year of having a program. And, we're just bringing in the numbers and just bringing in the right guys that kind of fit our system. And we brought in 14 so far, and we got a couple more that we're hoping to bring in soon, some big splash guys too. So, no, it's going
good
well.
For you. And you're in Ohio, so I got to imagine that's kind of a hotbed. There's probably kids that are walking into your program that could win states in most of the country.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we have some guys that have done very, very well in the state of Ohio. Multiple time state placers, and those guys are doing really, really well for us. And then we've had some guys that, that maybe didn't have the success that other guys have had in high school, but they come in and they work really hard and have had great success for us. We had just graduated our first graduating class, and our first ever signee, Ray Porter, ended up being a 4-time national qualifier for us, and he only went to the state tournament 1 time. It just kind of speaks to the strength of how tough Ohio is and how deep it really is.
Man, it's awesome. Yeah, Ohio and Pennsylvania and New Jersey, they're all pretty close, right?
Yes.
So NAIA, I've talked to a bunch of NAIA coaches. I think you've seen them on here. I've had Omi Acosta on. I've had Nick Soto on. I've had Kaiser, Ricky Marcus. I've had George. I've had, I could keep going. I think I had a Cutterly on, but I think he's at a high school up by you.
Yeah, Eric Cubberly, yep.
But I've had several NAIA, and I've learned so much from talking to them and how amazing NAIA is. I had a recruiter on, and we were talking off the air, and he had mentioned to me that NAIA could become as big as Division I wrestling at some point. It's just been growing that much.
Yeah, it's hot right now. It's hot right now, and there's a lot of programs that are starting up, and there's a lot of very, very solid programs in NAIA. And for us to kind of keep pace with those teams, like Life and, Grandview, obviously, the Reinhardts, the Lindsey Wilson, the Indiana Techs, that's kind of our goal, is to kind of be with those, keep up with those teams. And, you got to bring in top talent every single year. And there's and the good thing is that there's a lot of money in NAIA too. So it's, it's a unique challenge, and it's a fun challenge. It's a fun process to kind of keep up with those guys. And to bring in, you got to bring in the top dogs in the state and kind of keep up.
Yeah, and it's been awesome because I don't think that, I don't know a platform that has given all like NAIA coaches just the opportunity to come out and shoot the bull or whatever, because Everybody wants to talk to the D1 coach, or everybody wants to talk to the D1 athlete. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I do too. I love talking with them, and they are all welcome as much as they want. I had Pat Lugo and Brettley Rain on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to have you on and your guys on, and I want to have every level. I've had club coaches on here. I just feel like kids, wrestling has created who they are, but they've got to get an education, and that doesn't mean that they need to go to Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa. You know, there's great programs like Lourdes and Life U and all these different places. Kaiser and Southeast that these kids can go and wrestle
Right.
and be competitive and get a good education.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, for us, you can get that Division I atmosphere in the wrestling room. And then on the class side of it, which is obviously the most important side, you're getting more one-on-one attention from the teachers, you know, smaller class sizes. And, you know, if you need help, you can get help. You know, it's not like you're trying to go to a tutor. You can go to the professor right face to face and meet with them that, you know, sometimes you might not be able to get at a bigger Division I school.
And you're going to these, I guess you guys call them open mat tournaments, right? Where you go and there's every division there and you can compete from the club teams are there all the way up to some D1 teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't go to a lot of opens, but we've had guys that have, and yeah, we see everybody. You know, our 141 pounder, Nick Henneman, who was originally at Kent State, he went 21-4 his redshirt freshman year at Kent State, transferred to Lourdes, and you know he beat the Division II national champ at one of these open tournaments.
So he was wrestling at Kent State, which is Division I. I know.
Correct.
There's a gentleman, what's his name, Tim Rooney?
Yeah, Tim Rooney. Yeah, him and Tim Rooney were wrestling partners.
So I think it's his mom reached out to me and was like, "I'm going to send Tim your information to come on." Okay. I haven't heard from him yet, but that'd be cool. But so he left Kent State to come to Lourdes. Was it just based on what was that based on? Like, what made him make that decision?
Yeah, well, there's a couple factors that went into it. He was from the area. You know, Lourdes is only about 10, 15 minutes from his house. His girlfriend also goes to Lourdes.
Oh, so that's it. You don't have to say no more. Girlfriend at Lourdes, he's done, right? He's done. Yeah. But no, I understand the class size thing too, because like my buddy Daniel, he was my buddy too, but he's my son. He the senior that started the wrestling program at his school graduated not this year, the year before. Okay. And he went off to the Gators, and he was like, "Man, this is too much for me." He moved over to Samford because he wanted that small, quaint, you know, more individual class time. So I can definitely understand how someone goes Division I and is going to wrestle at Kent and then says, "Man, it's too big for me. I want to go somewhere where I'm more comfortable." So I definitely can feel that. Are you still there? You're still there?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Did I break up?
Yeah. No, you froze for a second there.
Okay.
It could be me. I've got all the kids on the internet and doing school, plus I'm on the internet, or they're just on the internet playing video games.
Right.
Either way, they're using it. So yeah, I can definitely see how the smaller class size could really be attractive to kids, especially kids that are coming from either a private school or a smaller town public school where they were used to, you know, can you imagine being a kid in a classroom with 20 kids and then you end up at like the University of Florida or Ohio State and there's each classroom
absolutely.
is the size of your auditorium. I mean, you gotta
exactly.
Be like, holy moly.
Exactly.
So lots of benefits there. So a little bit about yourself. You wrestled at Ohio. Well, first of all, you wrestled in Michigan in high school, right?
Yeah, I did. I wrestled at a smaller high school in Michigan. You know, it was a very newer program when I got to high school, and I never wrestled before. I didn't wrestle until I got to high school. I didn't know anything about it. I had two uncles that wrestled, and that was about it. And I got to high school, and I played football, and I was going to play basketball, and the football coach was the wrestling coach, and he just bugged me every single day. He goes, "You're wrestling. I said, Coach, I don't know anything about it. I've never done it before. I said, I mean, why would I do this? I don't know anything about it. And he just badgered me, would not let it go. And then he had kids on the team's moms who were like the lunch moms in the cafeteria. Hey, are you that Louis Piszker kid? Yeah, that's me. And I'm some, wimpy freshman. I don't know anybody.
Come wrestle.
Come wrestle. Come wrestle. It's like, all right. Well, and then I said, I'll give it a try. I talked to my parents. I was going to try out for the basketball team. I'm only 5'4", but I actually was a pretty good basketball player. And I said, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I'll try it out for 1 year. I'll probably hate it, and I'm never going to do it again. So I remember I talked to my parents, and my dad ran out to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought me a pair of wrestling shoes and bought me a headgear. And I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to give it a shot. And everything just clicked. Everything was so natural. I set like the school record for most wins in a season. My freshman year, never doing it before.
Wow.
It was just meant to be. And looking back now, it's like one of the best decisions I ever made.
That's awesome. And now now you're a head coach in college.
Yeah, I'm coaching at the college level. It's got the chance to wrestle in college. It's just a cool. It's awesome. It totally changed like the whole path of my life, I think. So
man, that's amazing. And those are the stories. The reason why I do this. I mean, that's just amazing what it's done for you. So talk a little bit about your program. What are the core values that you have instilled in that program, and talk about how important that is to you.
Yeah. So Coach Doc Kelly is the head wrestling coach here at Lourdes. He's been coach at the Division I level and at the Division II level. Coached multiple national champions and All-Americans, and he coached at Anderson University in South Carolina Division II for a number of years. And then
I know Anderson, South Carolina very well.
Yeah, South Carolina. Yep. So yeah, that's where he was a head coach at for over 15 years. That's
the school that did the movie on the football kid.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. I used to travel in the carnival. That's a whole nother story, people. But I mean, one of our stops was Anderson.
Okay. Yeah. So that program shut down, and then he got hired at Lourdes, and then he brought me on as the assistant, and me and him just clicked. We get along very well, and we have very similar mindset and an attitude of what we want the program to be. And so we hit the ground running 4 years ago. And, that first year we kind of took in whoever we could get. We both got hired pretty late in the process. So it's like, hey, we got to open our doors. We need some guys. And we were able to squeak out one national qualifier that first year. And then,
nice.
Yeah, then that year two, we kind of said, okay, we need to start bringing some numbers in, build some depth. And we were able to get 2 guys out to nationals that year. And then year 3 is when we really made the big jump. And from that point on, we really said that we need to bring in guys that fit our system and guys that are going to buy into what we're doing. And kind of what that is, obviously the academic side comes first. That's first and foremost. And we don't put anybody's name on the record board until you graduate from Lourdes University. Because that's that's the main goal. That's the reason you're here. And wrestling is the second part of that. So until you graduate and earn your degree, your name doesn't matter what you did. Your name does not go on that record board till you graduate.
That's all right. And that kind of leads into, what the next question would be is I wanted to ask you that, how do you keep them focused and separate the two? How do you make sure, he may be your top wrestling athlete, but he also needs to know that after wrestling, he needs to have a career, right? And education. Right. So how do you keep them grounded on both sides?
Yeah, we stay engaged in that side of it. We make sure these guys are going to study tables and doing what they need to do in the classroom. We get, every Monday, if somebody's not doing what they need to do, in the classroom, the teachers send Coach and I an email. Right. And these academic alerts, and it's usually, and I hate getting them every Monday because sometimes we don't get a lot, but there's always every once in a while, especially those first couple of weeks on campus. It's like, our emails are blowing up with all these academic alerts with guys getting acclimated back into the school side of it.
Oh, it happens in every level. Even my kids, when they get back from vacation that first week, we're getting lit up with stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So we make sure we
Understand.
stay on top of them. And, and I think that, having that over the top of them and saying, it doesn't matter what you do here. On the wrestling side, if you do not accomplish the goals in the classroom, nobody will ever know you are here. When they come into our gym and they look at that record board and your name's not on there, it's like you were never here. And, and some guys don't want to hear that, and that is what it is. Those are the type of kids that we want to get in our program.
Well, and I think that's important. I think that's important too, because I'm sharing you with some other wrestling groups so that people can watch you as well. So that's very important. I mean, I've had guys on here like one of the Nordstrom guys, Kevin Nordstrom, and his brother's coming on next week, and they were two of only five-time champs in the state of Florida, so they're pretty good. Wrestled at Virginia Tech. His little brother Kyle's still there. Unfortunately, had a career-ending injury, but he's doing better, and he's up and running. But his big push right now is he's been in college as an athlete and has experienced the lack of effort towards pushing him in the direction of going and getting an internship and going and getting mentored and going in that direction. And he experienced walking into, what do they call them? Like employment fairs or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah. The career fairs. Yeah.
And telling them, I don't know, but I'm a wrestler. And they're like, yeah, well, that's great, but we don't care. Right. So not that they don't care, they care, but you need to use that wrestling platform to get yourself into college. And then while you're in college, there's the blue chip guys that are like, hey, I got the Olympics coming, I'm going to get sponsored, but it's like
a small group,
5%.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's good to hear that a program like yourself. And when I've been talking to the colleges ever since I spoke to him, I asked them that questions because I think kids need to know that, and a lot of kids don't. And I don't think the public knows how much focus is on education at these colleges. I think a lot of people are under the expectation that they're just jocks at a school and nobody gives a shit about anything else. And that could be that could be furthest from the truth, what I'm learning by you guys discussing this publicly. So talk about that. I mean, how important, it's got to be very important to you.
Yeah, it's huge. It is. And that's one of the goals of, when we bring these guys in, we give them kind of our recruiting speeches. We're developing young men, and we're developing you for the world that's after college. And, nursing is a big pull for us. And so is criminal justice and education. And, we're willing to work around your guys' schedule so you can make sure that you get all your clinical hours in, all your or your teaching observations in. If you have, an internship lined up, like we had a kid this year in our criminal justice program, sometimes he had to miss practice, or we had to kind of have a separate practice for him because, he just couldn't make our normal practice time because he had schooling and stuff that he had to do. And we're willing to work with that, because that, again, is the most important part. It's getting you set up for life after the 4 years or 5 years you're here with us.
And that's awesome. So. And sorry, I was looking down there for a minute because I like to share your shows, all the coaches, with other rooms. So I try to share you with like 30 different wrestling platforms.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Around the country every time I'm doing this, so that not just Florida kids and parents can see you, but when I share to New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Ohio and Illinois and whoever will accept me.
No, I appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
So far, nobody's deleted me except for I did share something with, there's a wrestling room where they do like live training. I shared there and they told me stop sharing. So I stopped.
Gosh, okay.
But I guess it's because they don't do interviews. They just do live like training for the kids. So they're doing a good thing too, but I guess they just don't want me on there. That's fine. No biggie. So talk a little bit about the intangibles. So when you're out recruiting and you're looking for a kid, and I get it, it can't be 100% focused on education. You still have a program to run, and you've got to be successful there. And there are politics behind that as well. So when you're looking at a kid, what intangibles are you looking for on the wrestling side, character side? That kind of stuff.
And we like I said, going into year 3 is when we really kind of built our system and what we wanted and the type of kids that we were looking for. And that's why we were able to make such a big jump that we did, nationally. And it's looking for the kids that come in with the right attitude and the mindset of how good can I be? Those are the type of kids that we're looking for. It's not so much what you did or didn't accomplish in high school. Obviously that plays a factor into it. It helps you kind of get on our radar. But if you come in with the attitude of how good can I be, and you're willing to put forth that effort and have that mindset every single day, then you're by nature are just going to get better, because you're going to come in with that work ethic and that mindset of how good can I be. And those are the type of kids that we're looking for. And I've given that speech to every kid.
Yeah. So I'm a young man in whatever state you're recruiting, and I come from a family that can't afford college. But I am an athlete. Maybe I'm not a blue chip athlete, but I am a wrestler, and I want to come to college. But I have that issue of affordability. What is something that Lourdes does to help someone like me come to your college and be able to afford to get an education and also wrestle?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if Lourdes is a place for you and you want to be part of our program, then we'd love to have you. And we're willing to do whatever it takes to get you on our campus. Because if we're the place for you, and then we know that you're going to come, you're going to buy in, we're willing to do whatever it takes. If we got to give you a little bit more scholarship money wrestling wise than what we need to, then we're willing to do that. We have the thing that Coach Kelly and I love the most about Lourdes is we have the support system behind us that, if we need some help, everybody's willing to jump in and help us out. Financial aid has worked with us big time on helping to get guys similar to that situation that you said, get guys to Lourdes. And having that support and having that backing is huge. And, we just reach out to them. Hey, we have this kid. We need some extra scholarship money, and maybe we're tied up wrestling wise. What can he get through the school? And, they send us the information, we send it to you, and we're going to try to everything we can to get you here.
So Lourdes will help financially kids get an education that need help, whether it's scholarship, grant funding. There is stuff out there to help them. And if I'm in between, so everybody talks about Division I, Division II, Division III, right? So I'm a kid that's getting looked at by Division III, and I'm a kid that's getting looked at by NAIA. And you're one of those schools. What are you telling me? Why go NAIA over Division III? And same thing. When I have a Division III coach on, I had Joe Norton, and I ask him the other side, but give you your chance to kind of do your thing as well.
Yeah, I wrestled Division III, and there's something about NAIA that's just a little different. There's just something a little different, and I don't know if it's the money side of it or what. We're able to see that a little bit higher level of competition. And I think the money side helps a little bit get better guys into the room sometimes. And that's not a knock against Division III at all, because I was a Division III guy myself. But I think NAI is just a step ahead of what Division III is. It's very similar to what Division II is. And having a couple Division I guys on our roster itself, we're getting closer to a top or higher level Division II D2 team as well. So.
What do you think wrestling as a whole, whether from Division I all the way down to club wrestling as a whole, needs to do to be more popular or be more on the radar of the national spotlight? Whether it's like I heard on the Began show, what's his name, Dan?
Yeah.
Dave Dean. He does a show on Instagram, and I was listening to him today. They were talking a little bit about that, but I've always been saying, or at least my short time here is, you see hockey and football do these things where they have these big outdoor competitions live on NBC or ABC or whatever it is, ESPN, and their matches or meets like at Notre Dame or at the Coliseum or at Yankee Stadium or Soldier Field. What can wrestling do to do maybe duels at that level? Like I said, I messaged him. I'm like, man, imagine Cornell versus Penn State at Yankee Stadium.
That'd be.
stuff like that, or even at the NAIA level, the top 4 schools NAIA go to, I don't know, Buckeye Stadium or something, something crazy.
Yeah, it's anything.
What do you think they have to do to get there?
The crazy thing about wrestling is this fan base is just unbelievable. The wrestling community is huge, and everybody backs each other, which is great. Anything. I mean, I think it was Iowa and Oklahoma State wrestled each other a couple of years ago at the football stadium at Iowa University, and it was packed. It was sold out. I mean, anything like that. Just getting it out there, getting ESPN involved. Just
they sold out. Minnesota was sold out for the NCAA's.
Yeah, it's a football stadium.
And what was that? 80,000 people or something? I don't know.
It's unbelievable. It's just anything to just get us out there more is it's great, and people are willing to spend the money and go out and watch.
The problem is it's so private. It's like a big community that's so private and secret, and it's like so many people don't understand. Like, man, put your kids in a room like that. I mean, that's incredible. Why are you taking your kid? Your kid doesn't need to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or go see a doctor. Because shit's going on. Stick him in a wrestling room. I promise you, he'll come out a better kid, a better man. I've seen it. I'm witnessing it firsthand, and it's just insane. And I wish we could see something like that. And I think he had mentioned like duels and stuff, but NCAA doesn't put as much emphasis on duels and that they matter. But I can't. I mean, it would be.
They would be shocked. I think they would be shocked if you broadcasted some of these duels a little bit more, had like a middle of the season tournament, kind of like a team duel tournament in the middle of the season, something like that, kind of like March Madness, something like that. I think they would be shocked on the number of people that would tune in and watch it, because the wrestling community is huge.
I mean, I couldn't imagine like the 4 top NAIA teams or the 4 top D1 teams or something just going head to head. Or even conference tournaments like the Ivy League schools. I mean, I think to be on TV, other than the NCAA, we know that's on TV because we watch it on ESPN. But like I was talking to the club guy yesterday, and I had no idea that they show the club nationals on Flow Wrestling. I mean, I had no idea. The NAIA nationals are on there too, right?
Yeah, the nationals are on ESPN3.
ESPN3. So I had no idea where I could see those tournaments. Like nobody knows that.
Right.
So that's something that I just wish people could hear of more. So your 4-year-old, is he running around already on the mat?
Not yet. I'm trying to take it slow with him. I'm ready to get him on the mat. I'm ready to get him going, but we'll see. He tried playing soccer and he wasn't too fond in soccer. He was the kid that the game's going on and he's throwing all the balls on the back of the net, counting them. But we got him into T-ball, and he's all about T-ball right now. So. Oh,
that's T-ball's funny. Like the ball, they're at the point now where the guy hits the ball right, and then everybody from all the way in center field, all the way to first base, like this.
Yes.
Right? Yes. The kids all at once trying for the ball. You're like, hey,
yes.
Hey.
I know.
That's awesome, man. So wrestling is good. Lourdes has an amazing program. If you're looking for another NAIA school, here we go, another coach. You're talking to him. Let's ask you the 10 questions. You ready?
All right, let's go.
So you're down by 3 going into the 3rd period. You have choice, top, bottom, or neutral?
Got to go down.
Folk style or freestyle?
Ooh, I got to go folk. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I got to go folk style.
Headgear or no headgear?
No headgear.
So you only have one day available to train, whether it's you or your team, your club team, whatever. But you have one day to train. Do you go to a rumble or a clinic?
Rumble.
It's kind of mixed there. I get some people will say, well, I don't know who's coaching the clinic. Like, I don't know. It's just a random question. So who wins the rematch, Swain or Shoot?
Oh, my gosh. You got to go Shoot now.
Yeah. Which title holds more prestige, the 32 or the Fargo?
Probably Fargo.
More dominant, a pin or a tech?
Pin.
All right, let's see. Wings or a burger?
Burger.
Whopper or Big Mac?
Oh, I don't like either.
Oh, all right. Chicken nuggets or chicken tenders?
Nuggets.
Sabrett's or Nathan's?
Oh, I don't know about that one either. These are tough questions, man.
That's tough, right? That's
Grilling
tough.
me right now.
What was it? I had Norton was on, and he's in Chicago.
Okay.
So I changed it up on him, and I said, okay, Chicago dog or New York dog?
Oh, man.
He was like, oh, man, I don't know. Yeah, that's funny, man. Good stuff. Hey, man, well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Anytime you want to talk, feel free to reach out. And it's just been fun. Anything else that you want to say? Give a shout out to anyone? Is there something you want to talk about that we missed?
No, I appreciate you having me. This is an awesome experience. Getting Lourdes out there is huge, and we're trying to keep pace with the big dogs. And we're stay tuned because we're coming. So thank you again for having me on.
I like it, man. You take care and have a great day.
All right, you too. See you later.
See you.